interview, they would usually ask less salary than men. So from the beginning, they're starting less, and afterwards, the negotiation after a half a year or a year would be so much tedious because you're starting behind, right? So
Exactly.
for me, as I see it, it's like we need to educate these young women about negotiation and being
Oh, absolutely.
more,
Yeah, that's one of
knowing
the
how to
things we
present
do.
your side.
Exactly. And we did a big piece of negotiation training for women in London. And I know they've done a piece in New York with women in innovation as well. And, I've been in my career over 20 years and I still learned something in the session. I was like, oh, wow, that you should never go into a negotiation on one point. I was like, oh, super interesting. If you go in with 3 points that you're open to negotiation on, it means that everyone wins 1 point each. So no one leaves feeling like they gave too much. And then there's always a middle one that everyone's not that bothered about. You kind of vaguely negotiate on it. And I think that's a really interesting thing. And one of the perspectives that people running the training was like, talk to people around you and see what salaries they are on, what they're asking. Because I think, culturally, we're not used to asking each other, what's your salary? What's going on? And I know
Right.
in Women in Innovation, we're really good at helping each other go, this is the brand you should be in. Because if you've got that confidence, you go into it in a much stronger position. And they suggested as part of the training, you should tell a friend, this is where my lowest level is. And if they're not going to give me, say, 50, then I'm going to walk away because I know I'm 50. And you have that friend to hold you accountable. Because if you don't
Yeah.
verbalize it, it's not going to happen. It's like
It's
when you're trying to lose weight, you say, I'm doing
yeah.
this thing, because then you have accountability. So I think even in negotiation, working out what are the 3 things you want to negotiate on and what is the lowest thing you will accept, and being prepared to walk away if they don't recognize that.
Yeah, I think that being prepared to walk away is something that most women would not do. And I think that more men would do that because they're more aware of the possibility of taking risks and they're more aware of the possibility that they will get along. They don't have to get this position. And only from that perspective, they're coming to a better situation when they're doing the negotiation because they're saying, okay, this is what I want. And if not, it's fine. While when women would go there, they might say they didn't appreciate me enough in order to give me what I want, or I need to get it, and it means about me this if I get it. And sometimes they're thinking about it really, really differently, saying, I want to have time for my kids, so I need to go back a bit with my demands because I want to get this position. And because they're coming to negotiation with these things in their mind, they will not get what they want in the end, and men would. And
Exactly. And I think you made a great point there. Often it's in our minds. We don't verbalize what we want. And if you don't tell your leadership, this is what I want, they're not going to know unless they're really good and they've worked out, okay, each of our team needs different things and they're motivated in different ways. But often we just don't say what we need. And then we feel disappointed, but ultimately we didn't ask for it either. If you said to your employer, actually, this is what I'm going to need, they might go, absolutely fine. But we have this fear of saying what we need as
yeah,
well.
yeah, because it's like demanding too much, and then you're too much. You're asking too much, and for women to ask too much is not appreciated as a man asking, like because it means that he knows what he's worth, and if a woman would say it, in some cases it will be like, what do you think you are that you're asking that? So they're putting their neck out there much more than the men. So
Yeah.
so we're talking about women in innovation in general in the workplace, and we're talking about brand. And I want to ask you about personal branding, which is like in the middle there, right? So how do you do this personal branding within the company, or when you want to enter a new company, how do you present yourself better?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. I think it's, following on from that, personal branding is something we don't necessarily think about. I think even